lot. I wasn't there. I got to watch little bits of it on Facebook without getting family angry at me. So a lot of it I'm catching secondhand in what I've seen in videos. Mm-hmm. So forgive me if I don't speak too much because I didn't see a lot of it.
It's all good. It was the whole weekend was packed with action, a little bit of drama.
Sure.
We had some controversy. We had highlights and lowlights, no doubt. On a big weekend like that, you're going to get everything. And we got it all, didn't we, Sam?
Oh, yeah, and the tech guys were busy with the car count, so good job, guys.
With the car count. Unbelievable. Night number 2, we had 109 cars sign in.
Whoa.
109. Hands down the biggest we've had in probably 2 years.
Yeah, they were pitting all the way around to where you get your
where you come in. Yeah, they were pitted clear out around turn 1. That's a fact.
Wow.
Yes. I want to talk about, let's go into, we talked street stocks, right?
Yep.
Let's go into super sports from here. Well, I have 2 super sport. Okay, and there's a reason why I've got 2 super sport main events here. Okay, so night number 1, I want to talk about this because this was based upon your perspective, either one of those highlights or lowlights. We've talked about McLean Bedoin. We talk a lot about it at the track. 12 years old, running a super sport.
He's one of my heroes.
An absolute talent behind the wheel. I mean, let's talk about this. Kid is 12 years old. He's running a high horsepower stock car. Old school rules, the sideboards, no top, the wedge. I mean, the cool stuff, right? Mm-hmm. This kid has done nothing but impress since stepping up into this division. Now, this is where we talk about the controversy. Okay, the controversy of the weekend, hands down, came in this feature right here. We saw that kid drive to the front. And I'm not taking anything away from this kid. He drove that car to the front. He earned every spot he got to. Every car he passed, he earned. There was a couple times, being a young driver, he made a couple, I'm not going to say bad moves. I won't say dirty. I'll say questionable. Inexperience. You have to expect that from a kid his age, okay? There was a performance on night number 1 that could have been and should have been historic in the fact that we're talking about a 12-year-old kid winning a super sport feature, okay? We've seen him do it in the street stocks. We've seen Bryson James do it at 12 years old, win street stock A main events. It's not new to see that at Willamette, but to see the way this kid did it in a super sport was impressive. This is where the controversy comes in. After getting to the front and leading across the stripe to the checkered flag and winning by 2.3 seconds, the car doesn't pass post-race tech. Okay? I don't know what happened. Okay? I haven't talked to those guys about it. I wasn't even going to approach those guys about it. Okay? Here's what we do know. The car did not pass post-race tech because of shocks. Okay? Tech at Willamette now, these guys, Bob McCord and the gang, I think, given what we've seen in the past couple of years with the lack of tech, guys doing what they want to do, knowing, probably not going to get teched, let's take a chance. I don't know if that's the case here. I don't think it is. I don't know if it was somebody ordered the wrong part number. I don't know if it was done with intent. I'm not going to say any of that. It's not my place.
I think when they were redoing the car, from what I've heard, when they were redoing the car after the motor problem they had,
right,
the shocks got overlooked when they were putting it back together.
And that's a possibility. That's a real possibility because I know they did put this is a new package on this car for shocks. It's a totally new package, okay? This was the first night on that car, those shocks, okay? Now, the problem comes on the left rear corner, okay? Schrader valve. Now, if you watch the car on the videos that we did, or if you watch the car in person, when the car got up on the bars, and it caught our eye. We're experienced. We've watched enough. We've been around the game long enough to know what we're looking at. The car never came down. It went up and came down, and the car was hooked up. I mean, it was clearly the fastest car on the track. Hands down, no question. He was fast, okay? Now, it gets to it gets to, that's what we're going to talk about, Chris, the shock rule. We're trying to figure out what that rule is because this seems to be a gray area. I don't know if they interpreted the rule wrong, if the rule is written in a way that most people don't understand, or if it was done with intent. I don't know. I'm not going to accuse anybody of cheating. That's certainly not what we're doing here. But what sucks about this whole deal is I've heard this mistake blamed on a crew chief that is no longer on that team. I've heard this mistake blamed on we missed it. I've heard other people say they knew it was there. And that's going to happen when you catch somebody, whether they're intently cheating or not. You're going to have rumors, okay? We're not here to start any rumors. In fact, we'd like to end the rumors if possible. I don't know what the truth is. All I know is what happened. McLean Bedoin gets his first career feature win and has it nullified by an unapproved part on the left rear corner. Sam, you were back there in the area. Okay, here's what I have heard, and I haven't got any clear. I have heard, number one, it was a Schrader valve. Number two, it was an air shock. Do you have any?
I heard it was a valve.
A valve. Okay, so let's go with that because I think I've heard that more than the air shock
Yeah, it was
theory.
a valve.
Okay, so Dom, you've been around racing a long time.
Yep.
Schrader valves. Give us kind of a quick...
I guess the way to look at it, you don't know what that Schrader valve's doing on that. Number one, is it something to look at? Is it something to actually do something? Can you put air in it? Can you put oil in it? Can you put nitrogen in it? What are you doing with it? Nobody knows.
Right.
I mean, we've had shocks in the industry that have all kinds of adjustments that do absolutely nothing just to throw people off.
Right.
You do not know what that's for.
Right.
It could be for 5 or 6 different things: changing valving, holding it up, letting it down, letting it no rebound. There's just so many variables to this.
Okay, so here, I'm glad you said that because what I saw, and again, I don't know exactly what's going on, but when that car went up, it didn't come down. Okay. The traction was on the ground. The kid did first and foremost, let me state this. The kid did an absolute phenomenal job of driving that car. Everybody in the stands was going nuts. Dom, if you picked a bad night to miss.
I know. Especially he's my hero. You know?
But here's the thing about it, too, and this is why I say this, because the next night, they came out on night 2, okay? Supposedly, the car was fixed. The tech went over it. Good to go. You're approved to go racing. Night number 1, after getting the win nullified, BJ Donofrio got the win. Okay, his first career. What would have been McLean's first career ends up being BJ's on a technicality. Doesn't matter. Take the wins how you can get them. A win is a win. Rules are rules. I'm not here to interpret rules because honestly, I don't have a clarification on that rule and what exactly. I'm not going to say what exactly was the infraction because I don't know. So I'm not going to come on here and look like an idiot and say, oh, this is what they did. I don't know what happened. I just know that the part was unapproved. That's all we can say. If I had more information, you guys know I'd talk about it. I would say this is what happened. This is the clarification. Da-da-da-da.
You know, knowing both him and his father, I really couldn't see them trying to do something shady. So if something's either unclear or a mistake or something, there's something there. They're both such good people.
I agree.
Really don't see it.
I agree. Here is what I do know. I know that, and this could be, and I'm going to tell you what I assumed once we got word in the Moxie Tower over the radio. The car was being questioned because of the shock package. Okay, my automatic assumption, without knowing anything about the situation, I don't know what was caught. At this point, we don't know anything. All we know is that they're looking at the car. My automatic assumption was, oh no, they just purchased that. Now remember, there was new shocks in that car. They just purchased those shocks and put them on. When I'm hearing that there was a problem with the shocks, my mind instantly went to like an IMCA type rule process where my first thought was part number. Maybe they thought they were ordering something else and maybe ordered the wrong part number. I don't know. Honestly, I've never had any experience whatsoever anyway with a Schrader valve. Okay, I understand how they work or what you can and can't do with them. And in this case, it sounds like the Schrader valve was helping the car stay up on the bars and the win was taken away. Now, night number 2, Okay, night number 2, the kid comes out, has a great night going. So does B.J. Donofrio. We saw a repeat on night number 2. We saw the 17 car, the leading, and then the 99 got past him in the late stages, got the win, with the 17 finishing second. Okay, so here's my point to all this. Let's take the rules infraction out of place. Let's talk about the weekend as a whole.
The kid's coming.
Absolutely. Finished second on night 2 with approved, whatever the part was, got approved. You know, hey, go race, you're good to go. And finishes second. Had a win the night before. On night number 2, I didn't see a whole lot of difference in the performance of the car compared to night number 1. It didn't look any worse, I'll tell you that. And it looked every bit as good. The kid is a race car driver. I don't know if that part wasn't on the car night number 1, if he doesn't get his first win. He should have. I think clearly he was on that night the class of the field. Is that because of the part? My whole point of this conversation is no. I don't believe it is, given what he did on night number 2. Sam, you watched it. You were there. You saw it with your eyes. What's your opinion on it?
Oh yeah, no, I think he's feeling more comfortable in the car. He's finally got a couple races under his belt. He's coming into his own in it.
When I think he's at that point now, he understands what the car is doing underneath him, how to drive it when it does. New motor, new shocks.
So now as soon as he laps me, it'll look really good.
I don't know. I don't know the whole process. I don't know the whole deal on the rules. And I can't get a 100% clear answer on everything. I wish I had it to talk about on the show tonight. Unfortunately, I don't. I'm going to have this conversation one time on this show, and we're going to leave it at that, because I know, number one, that if anything was, let's just say, and I'm not saying that it is, but let's just say something was done with intent. You know, hey, they might not tech. I doubt they are. They haven't been. We're going to try this, see if it works. And you get teched and get caught. That is in no way, shape, or form a reflection on McLean as a driver. He didn't make that decision. He didn't put those parts in that car.
No.
Okay? And again, I am not saying anybody intently cheated. I'm saying that there was a mistake made by somebody that cost this kid a win. Regardless of what happened, it's not his fault. So I did hear some fans, and maybe these fans don't know this kid is 12 years old. I don't know how you don't know he's 12. We talk about him enough. I don't know how you don't know he's 12. But I heard fans bad-mouthing this kid, talking trash about him because, those guys are cheaters. That they knew what they were doing. Okay, first of all, that kid doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's there to drive the race car. He's learning this stuff, okay? So if anything was done, take that kid out of the equation right now. He had nothing to do with it. He didn't make the call. He didn't spend the money. He didn't buy the parts. He didn't put them on, okay? I do know this, too. I heard people blame the crew chief, who is no longer with that team, for doing that on that race car. I'm going to say this, too. I don't believe that's the case, because that crew chief, and I'm not going to say any names, we all know who we're talking about, has been gone for a couple of weeks. I do know, I was told, that team purchased new shocks for that car. So the way I understand it, those were brand new shocks on that race car, first time out. Okay. Now, a crew chief that's not there can't put those cars or put those shocks on that car, right?
Pretty much.
You can't blame him for something. So take those two people out of the equation. Okay. Whether those are new shocks or not, I was told they were. I'm telling you guys, I'm giving my opinion on the information I've been given. Okay. Now, the source that I was told the shocks were new, it's a pretty dang good source. He'd be the owner of the team. Okay? So, again, I'm not here to ruffle feathers. I'm not here to we are not accusing anybody of cheating. Mistakes do happen. I understand that. We've all made them. We've all done something on a race car. Sam, you've done it with your cameras. Dom, you've done it. I've done it on race cars. It's a shame. It's a bummer deal. I think the best thing to do, get the car right, and I'll tell you right now, after night number 2, that car is right. I mean, it's going to victory lane. That kid is going to have more than one win. I'll tell you that right now this season. He's going to have more than one win. Okay? You use it as a learning process. it's an event that, okay, we learned a lot out of this deal. We're going to put it in our back pocket. We're going forward into discussion. And if anybody